They thought I was just the clueless, foreign guest professor who wouldn't notice a thing. So when the students copied old reports word for word, they figured they'd pulled off the perfect scam. What they didn't know, I knew, and I had time, a plan, and just enough cruelty to make their summer unforgettable. If you've ever been underestimated, disrespected, or just wanted to deliver the kind of revenge that makes people deeply rethink their life choices, then hit that like button, subscribe, and settle in, because this is one of the most slow burn, soul-crushing karma bombs you'll hear all week. I'm in my late 20s, a cancer researcher, and guest professor at a university medical school. I teach imaging, MRI, CT scans, and all the high-tech diagnostics. But what a lot of people don't realize is that imaging involves a lot of programming. On some days, I'm basically a glorified IT guy. And any real programmer knows your code is your fingerprint. With enough experience, you can practically recognize a friend by their syntax. So here I am, the new guy, first year as a guest prof, foreign accent, young, and to a few students. That made me an easy target for their final grade. I assigned 2 image processing reports, each worth 10%, enough to make a difference. They required actual coding, real thinking. Most students gave it a shot, some barely passed, but then facepalm a handful just copied old reports from previous years, literally, CTRL plus C, CTRL plus V. They didn't even bother to fix the formatting, just slapped their name on it and hit submit. The kicker, I had already read those old reports. I used them to benchmark my own grading. I knew the errors. I recognized the structure. And when I ran a plagiarism check, bam, 98% match. So I graded them accordingly, 0. No drama, no shouting, just zeros, and moved on. Until one of them, let's call him David, casually asked me in the hall, "Hey professor, any news on the grades? I worked really hard on my report, didn't do great on the exam, so I'm counting on the reports to pass." And he smiled right to my face. I could feel heat rising in my chest, not just anger, insult. He was lying, boldly, thinking I was just too naive, too foreign, too young to catch on. That's when the plan started to form. You see, mine was the last exam of the semester. After it, most students go on vacation, family trips, beaches, home countries. But before grades are locked for the year, they have 3 days to review them with the professor in person. So I did something a little strategic. I entered all the final exam grades. Then I bumped up the report grades for the cheaters, just a little. Gave them 50%, just enough that, combined with their exam, they'd still fail. And yes, I also bumped grades for struggling but honest students. Some barely passed, but at least they turned in their own work. That mattered to me. Then I published the grades, right on schedule. The emails started rolling in. "Professor, I don't understand. I worked really hard on the reports. Can I please get an appointment?" "Oh, you may." They begged for online meetings. But university policy is clear. Reviews are in person. And you have 3 days, period. So what happened? They flew back, cancelled trips, paid for trains, buses, even flights, all for a tiny sliver of hope that they could sweet-talk me into passing them. Let me tell you what I didn't do. I didn't immediately pull up the plagiarism results and kick them out. No. That would be merciful. Instead, each appointment became a performance. One by one, they came in, sat across from me with those smug little expressions. "I just want to understand what I did wrong." So I showed them every single line. "Why did you write this? What algorithm are you applying here? What is the logic behind this loop?" They mumbled, they stammered, they guessed. Because it wasn't their code, they had no idea. I dragged it out. 10-minute meetings stretched to 90. 2 hours. I made it a ray lecture of everything they'd ignored all semester. Explained each error, slowly, painfully and with every slide of paper, every annotated margin, every question they couldn't answer, they realized I knew they were caught, and I wasn't going to let them out of the trap. Even when they tried to leave, I held them there. Sorry, university policy. We have to finish the grade review process. I smiled, kindly, like a dentist about to drill. 3 days for cheaters. Countless hours of legal, educational torture. By the end, they were broken, vacations ruined, wallets lighter, confidence shattered, and worst of all, they failed. They would have to retake the module with me. And they knew it. As the last one left my office, I looked up and said, I hope you enjoy your summer. See you next year. The moment wasn't loud. There were no screaming matches, no angry exits, just for young adults walking away slower than they came in, shoulders slumped, eyes hollow, knowing they had underestimated the wrong man. I didn't just fail them academically. I turned their arrogance into ash and handed them the bill for thinking they could take the easy road. They gambled on my inexperience, my accent, my age, and they lost. Some people learn from lectures, others need consequences. In the end, the best kind of revenge isn't just punishment. It's education. It's a lesson so well delivered that they carry it forever. If that story made your soul smile, give it a like and drop a comment. What would you have done to those cheaters? And, of course, subscribe for more deeply satisfying, karma-fueled stories every single week. Until next time, stay sharp, stay kind, and never underestimate the quiet ones.